So I'm going to jump back in the van and then we're going to head on to my next location, which is a giant waterfall, and I'm going to tell you more about that when we get there. Okay, so after a bit of a drive from the lighthouse, my last location today is Clachtoll Falls, which is a fantastic waterfall. It really is, big, wide, and the water, I've just driven past it, the water's just looking fantastic, it really is. Now what you have to do is, it's a bit tricky to park and also getting access to the footpath to it. There's a lot of little houses either way and they've all got little signs saying this ain't the access to the falls, and I can imagine in the summer it must be a nightmare for the poor guys. But there is a bit of a footpath on the top there, so you've got to get yourself up a little bit from this bay. So this is Clachtoll Bay, beautiful little bay, and I'm guessing in the summer this will be quite busy. There is a bit of a parking space directly opposite the bay, although you have to leave it for bus turning, so you kind of have to get yourself out of the way a little bit. So there's not much access to drive and park here, I'm afraid. But obviously it's February and we're fine. So I'm going to leave the van here and we're going to head up. We've got about a 10-15 minute walk to the falls itself. Yeah, I've just driven past and it's looking great. Okay, I weren't aware of this. Anyway, I've got halfway up the track, lots of signs telling you where not to go. There's a little sign here telling me path to the falls, where it goes across the burn here, so there's going to be some comedy, and my advice would be, if I was coming here again, I'd have put my wellies on instead of my boots. Anyway, we're going to skip across this dodgy falls. I'll record it, so if I do go in, it's worth a laugh. I can only see out my glasses. To shout because wow, what a noise this lot is making. What a great waterfall. The spray is just wafting down, so trying to keep anything clean is a nightmare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on back down and get out of this spray, get a good shot. But what an impressive waterfall, and the sound is just, oh, immense, it really is. Okay, I think I've set myself up into a nice composition, and so here's my camera here, there it is, Now what I originally did is I started over here to the right. I wanted to get really close to the water, but what happened is then the water just went straight up and down the shot, and I didn't really with my eye explore any of this area or any of this area. So what I did is I kind of moved myself over a bit to the left. Now what you can see is happening then is then the water kind of comes in on the right hand side and then leads the eye up to the waterfall. So it's that kind of right to left that's working for me. So that was a better shot. It's a bit of a nightmare trying to get the spray out the shot. So what I'm kind of having to do is I've got the polarizer on just to help with the contrast. I started off, so I've done basically a couple of shots. I've had to bracket because the sky is blowing out as normal, and also I've had to focus stack again. So there's a little bit of composing these shots at the end in Photoshop or Lightroom. But what I've actually had to do is, so at the start I had the 6-stopper on and the polarizer, and I was kind of having to focus low down, wipe the lens, take the shot, then having to focus high up, wipe the lens, take the shot, and then kind of a really dark shot for the sky. And then I've repeated the whole process. So what I've got is I've got like a 30-second shot, which works because normally big fast flowing waterfalls, everything goes very milky. But this waterfall itself is very sort of trickly, like, you know, little jets of water really. And I can slow that down really quite long and still get them textures in it. It's not a big mass of water like some big waterfalls. So I've tried that with a 30 seconds. And if that shot works, here's the image. Okay, selfie time, 20 seconds, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, soaking. 20. Well, I've had an absolute fantastic day today. It's been wonderful, really has. This is my second day in Assynt and it's just absolutely delivered. It's been brilliant, it really has. What a great location, unique, remote, but still absolutely stunningly beautiful. So please get here. Well, good morning and welcome back to Assynt. Now this is my third video in my series, and if you haven't watched the other two, I'll put the link in the first one and you can kind of follow the chain a little bit. It's best to watch them first before you come to this one. Cool, okay, so this is day 3. Now, the weatherman has lied. So I woke up this morning, I knew it was going to be kind of wet all night, and it was. And then it said about 10 o'clock the weather was going to lift, and I thought I was going to get some decent light. I looked at the clouds in the morning at 7:30 for sunrise and there was absolutely nothing. Anyway, I'm here at Stac Pollaidh car park, and this grey mass behind me, behind that is Stac Pollaidh. The plan was to go and walk it. I'm in a real quandary what to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my boots on and I'm going to walk up. On the weather it's saying about 12 o'clock there might be some broken cloud, so we might see something. So I think I'll put my boots on, we'll go and have a stroll up and we'll see what we get. Cool, so come and join me as we walk Stac Pollaidh. So Stac Pollaidh stands for Stac at the pool of the river, which is quite interesting because it's to do with the geology, really. You go around Assynt and you see all these big mountains just come out of nowhere and you think, God, it's surrounded by all these extinct volcanoes, you know. But then there are actually no volcanoes here. Stac Pollaidh itself is part of the Torridonian sandstone period, which is over 1,000 million years old, so pre-Cambrian. So really old rocks, some of the really old rocks here. And what it does is it's kind of a sedimentary, just at the side of a basin as the sand sort of comes down. And you get these different layers, and you get, when there's high energy, you get these bigger sort of sands and particles coming down, bits of quartz and stuff. And then when there's low energy, it's just fine sand. And that gives you these different layers, and then they erode at different rates. And that's why you get these little stacks. And that's why it's Stac at the Pool River. So it's really quite an interesting geological formation. So I'm hoping when I get up to the top, I've seen pics and there's some beautiful rock formations which might work as well. And if it does stay in cloud, I might see if I can find a couple of decent sort of stacks, so to speak, some little rock formations as well. Okay, let's see how we get on.
Like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for you.
Teasing me, she really is. She's just popping herself out just behind the clouds there, look. There she is, the sun. And yeah, it's looking lovely on the loch there, isn't it? Oh, come on, it did say it was going to brighten up. Fingers crossed. Right, let's keep going up. Well, it's going to be a get what you can day today, it really is. The cloud is lifting a bit. I'm not quite there, but I'm just coming up this little section here and I've got the loch in front of me. And I just felt that sun. I did a little B-roll and then I just thought, that sun's going to come out and give me some light rays. And yeah, sure enough it did. And I got this beautiful light rays. So I run back, grab my camera, you'll see me running around here. And I got a lovely composition with just the sun coming out and these rays of light coming down onto the loch. And it was an absolute beauty. So let me go and show you my composition here before I show you the shot. Yeah, so the light rays were just coming down in front of me, heading all the way over to Pollaidh Poolway. And it was just a lovely little rays coming. I could see it coming. I just thought, I'm going to have to get ready here. And actually, a good tip sometimes is when you're in the hills, don't forget, not all is lost. Sometimes something will just happen miraculously and you've got to kind of react quickly. Now I was walking up the track and I thought, oh, that gives me a nice leading line. So what I've done is I'll flip you around and I use this kind of track here. Let me come down a bit. So this is the track I was walking on. I was actually filming that B-roll that you've just seen. And then I've used that as the foreground interest just to guide the eye over, and it just came up to these beautiful rays of sun there, which were absolutely amazing. Just coming down here was stunning. So what I did is I had to act quick. I've got no tripod today, there's no point. I'm not going to do any slow shutter stuff. So it was handheld. It's actually not that dark, but I still had to crack my ISO up a little bit just to get a decent shot. And I did very quickly focus stack. Just in my head, I was like, focus stack, focus stack. So I did focus stack so I could get one in the bag just in case. And I checked my highlights as well. It was like, it reminded me of my wedding photography days. You've got to be quick and act very quickly. Anyway, I've got what I think is a really nice image. So, well, if this image works, here's the photo. see those guys there, and it is a pea super at the top, so they've been up. But they said there's some really nice rock formations up there, and he showed me a picture. These little stacks of sort of sandstone all balanced on each other. That actually looks all right. So I'm going to carry on to the top. I'm a bit more hopeful now. Even if I don't get the light, there's some sort of macro landscape stuff up there by the looks of it, judging by his shot, which was fantastic. So I'm going to carry on heading up here and let's see if we can find something. Okay, so I've kind of come to the ridge section now, so I've just got to head along the ridge a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. The weather is absolutely appalling, it really is. It's getting a bit windy now, so there's a bit of a scramble to get across the ridge, so I might go over and have a look for these rock formations, but sometimes like this you just feel actually it's safer just to head on down. So I'm going to have a quick look, and if it's no good, I'm just going to head back down. Yeah, so I've come around the corner and I found that, I mean, the structures are really nice actually, and I found quite a nice little shot here, just like macro photography. Yeah, I'll take a shot of this. It's trying to find a way of isolating it from all the other rocks around it because it becomes quite busy, so I'm going to move around it, but I think I've got a nice composition that is going to get me just the little rocks and the sort of the little sandstony layers and the sort of gritty layers in there, and I quite like the textures in there, and if I can isolate it with this beautiful soft he says with a hint of sarcasm sky in it, then that would be quite nice. So I'll have a work with this. It's all handheld obviously, and if this shot works, here's the shot. Got a nice ptarmigan at the top there. Let me just show you that. Is he going to show me? Oh yeah. Come on. He's thinking, what the pig in hell, why are you up here in this terrible weather, the poor thing? Where's he gone? Just looking over me there. He's disappeared now. Actually, that would have been quite a nice shot if he got a long lens. Now, I did have a look at the ptarmigan, and the ptarmigan itself just came out a little bit. He's all white this time of year. And he did stick his little nose out looking at me, and I thought, actually, that's quite a nice shot itself. So, unfortunately, I didn't have a really big zoom lens, but it was quite close. So I put the 70mm and I zoomed in as far as I could. And yeah, I'm going to sharpen it up and have a little play in Photoshop, and it's probably not going to win me the world's wildlife photographer of the year, right enough. But it was still quite a nice little image, and it was quite nice to know that I'm not alone up here. So yeah, we took that shot. So once I've worked on it, sharpened it up a little bit, here's the image of the ptarmigan. Okay, well, it's kind of drying up a little bit, but the mist is coming down, so it's gone more misty than rainy, which is okay because I'm dry, but the visibility is really reducing now. You can see it's going quite quickly. So I can still see the path, so I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to head on back down again. So it's a shame, a bit of a washout, but actually I got the ptarmigan, I got a few little shots, and that sunrise, the sunburst, sorry, shots were fantastic. I was absolutely delighted with that. So it's certainly weren't a wasted day out. And I think Stac Pollaidh, in terms of a walk, it's just a quick stroll. It's nothing at all, and yet the views, when I look on Google and Facebook and all these, to look at the images from the tops, it looks absolutely spectacular. So this is definitely one for the bucket list, and I'm definitely going to come back here in better light, because I think there's some real potential for some absolutely stunning images here. Cool, right, I'm getting a bit cold, time to go. But thanks so much for watching, and as usual, do me a favour, go down and give me the old thumbs up if you like this content. And if you really like it, go to the subscribe, click on the bell, and you'll get a notification every time I post. Cool, I hope you enjoyed the Assynt series. I had some highs, I had a bit of lows today, but it was still all in all an absolutely wonderful time away. So I'm so happy I came, and I will definitely come back and get yourself up here. It's a wonderful location. Cool, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Oh, get out of here, it's soaking! Absolutely drenched! Ah! Oh! What is it with selfies and waterfalls? Oh, that happens, you should get pigging soaking. Oh.